is News Channel 4 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Johnson. As always, thanks for joining us tonight. Vietnam veteran Ralph Swain vividly remembered his time overseas, but a return trip to the place he served was eye-opening, to say the least. News Channel 4's Rebecca Sunshine joins us now from our studio with more. Rebecca, this opportunity to return to Vietnam, well, it could really be described as the trip of a lifetime, couldn't it?
That's right, Kristen. We first brought you Swain's story last month as he was getting ready for this return trip. The Sioux City teacher is back, and today he shared with me what that experience was like.
I had always wanted to go back to Vietnam.
Ralph Swain first went to Vietnam not as a visitor, but as a soldier. Now, nearly 40 years after he left the war-torn nation, Swain, in a delegation of 15 veterans and family members, was ready to see how it had changed.
The sights and smells that I remember of Vietnam during the war were not there when I returned.
During the 10-day trip, the Western Iowa Tech humanities instructor traveled the whole country, much of which was unrecognizable.
I was going to my area where I served near Saigon and not being able to recognize a lot of what I had remembered. It has healed beyond belief. There's very little evidence of the war.
The one sign that war had once ravaged the country could be seen on the faces of its people. The Defense Department estimates that up to 10% of all the bombs dropped on Vietnam did not explode when they were supposed to.
The week before we got there, an 8-year-old child was killed. Children find these bombs in the mud. They look like mud balls, and they explode, kill, and maim.
Though it is difficult to see how one generation's war has had such a profound effect on the next, Swain says the trip provided him with the closure that he needed.
And everything that I had expected and more realized itself on this trip.
Kristen, Swain's trip was made possible through the Vietnam Memorial Fund. If you want to hear more about his trip, Ralph will be giving a presentation at Western Iowa Tech on the evening of September 18th.
A powerful one indeed, I'm sure. It's amazing to think that those bombs can still go off some 30 years later.
Oh, it's scary to think of all the kids out there playing in fields and not knowing what hits them.
Okay, well, thanks for bringing us his story tonight, Rebecca. That's Rebecca Sunshine.